So hello, yeah, long time. So I'm gonna keep it brief. I have been taking apart the bed, which was originally there. The last few days it's been a bit like this, so it's a bit more cleaned up. Behind it is so much better. So I'm now starting on making the actual bed itself. And then what I thought is I'm going to reuse everything that I've had before. So what you're seeing here is the it was originally a shelf, as mentioned. It used to be a thin, no, in fact it was here many years ago when I started on emptied. That's when it was. It was a basically it went all the way to about there. Originally the idea was I was meant to climb up, but it was that rickety I just used the top as a shelf. Here was where I did my very first 3D printing. The printer was there. Sometimes it swapped around and I had the TV in the corner. If you ever walked by, you did see a Dalek top half here, and that was Imp1J's plug for before it got moulded. So basically, there was a shelf here, which is what this is, and I've just taken it apart, taken all the old cross beams and then ones that were the long rails. And it was about there, and I used to sleep underneath it. Then about a few months later it then got put here, from, if you saw the pictures, the reason why this is all red still. And then it lived here, and that's when I got the bad rash, which I'll go on about in a future video of why I stopped fiberglassing, and it is the reason for all this rubbish on the floor. It's not stains or anything that you would think from the human body, but it is literally just resin bits there, resin here that's hardened over time. Yeah, so this room was a really nice bedroom at first when I first moved in. I'll have a future video of what it first looked like when I came in here. And yeah, I turned it into like a workshop, but now that I'm having it done up, and as you've seen 100 times with that now, and the windows, that's all about to change. There is two reasons why I need this room to be super clean, but I don't want to ruin the surprise yet, as I'm quite a far bit. I've started saving, but there is a reason why I'm having my bedroom cleaned up. One, obviously, is I can't live like this anymore. I'm not using it as a workshop. I need an area where I can come home from work and sit at the table and have an actual area for a bed and, you know, like a proper living space. I've just got rid of all the dust, you know, so I used to live with dust, fiberglass, hence the reason for the itching. As I was mentioning, when I was basically under here, when it was here, I got that much of a bad rash from, if anyone remembers, the skirt. I was fiberglassing in here at the time, hence the reason for the window. If you've seen the picture many times, where the dome and shoulders were leant up against, you know, it moved back and forth, and it was sitting here for most of the time, was the Dalek. But because of the material that I was using, fiberglass, it itches like mad, and I was sanding, and the matting itself is really itchy. So long story short, in fact we'll just go on about it now. Long story, for 1 week I was sat right here, legs spread apart basically, and I had a fan blowing because the stuff had gotten into my armpits, my crotch. And I know some people will be shaking their heads who know fiberglass, like, you really shouldn't have been doing it, and that was a big massive learning curve, never to fiberglass in here again. It's the reason why emptied got done really quick, because it is a really warm bedroom. It's an enclosed space, no humidity, so it meant the fiberglass could cure faster, basically dry, for those who don't know. But it came at a cost, and it cost me my health and, yeah, my mental state. And it's the reason why this room, well, not this wall, it's the reason why this room was just another mess. And as you can see from the floor, it was a mess. It's cleaned up now heavily, you know. I've been chunking out for the last few days, bought some more storage things to just shove a lot of crap in. Anyway, so going from all of that, I have been basically making a start on the bed. Now, as I mentioned, it's going to be a circular bed. I would go bigger. It's going to be about 5 foot. Of course, I'm not 5 foot dead on, so the mattress is going to be 5 foot. But what I'm going to design for the bed is at the back, because it's going to be, like I say, I'm creating an X, if you will, and at the back it'll curve round like a curved headboard, so I'll be pushing that out a bit, but the sides will basically like house the mattress. The front, as mentioned, there is a second reason why I've got to take into a lot of things, because of how, I don't know how high it's going to be. It's not going to be too high like what it was before, but it will be still low but highish. I need to take into account, I need to be able to get off and on the bed. So at the end I've decided that there will be no border. It'll be a border here, and then it goes out a bit, back in, and then the border again. Of course it won't be this size because that's tiny. By using these I'll be creating L brackets, so they'll come like that, and then they'll eventually be screwed, dotted all the way around apart from the front, and house the mattress, and then I'll have to build at the back just a little more space because I'm I'm not 6 foot. I wish I was 6 foot. I'm 5'5", or somewhere around that, so 5'6", 7", I don't know. So I've got to have room, because I would go for a big mattress, 6 foot, but then that means the sides go out even bigger, so it'll be eating up a lot of space. And some people will be saying, why are you getting a round bed? There is 2 reasons. One, I want something different for a change. And 2, because this room, this wall here is not square, my OCD would bug me. Because that's why I've always had it here, because this is more or less square. But I can't really have the bed anywhere else. I used to have it in the middle here when I first moved in. But again, having to climb over a bed when I want to be able to have a seating area and something going there, which I'm not naming. It was going to go there, but I've changed my mind. That's where the TV's going on. TV's going on a corner glass unit, which I used to have, and then this is going to be boarded up with. I wanted one years ago, MDF like radiator box. It'll still allow heat out, but it's like a miniature shelf sort of thing, but it boxes it for health and safety, without, again, not giving away what's happening in the next few months. And don't worry, I'm not bigging this whole big thing up of, you know, reason number 2. It is going to be a big part of my life when I have the money and everything. So I've got to make sure the carpet, there will be a rug, like I say, covering all this. Everything needs to be basically proofed to make sure it's safe. So yeah, so I thought a round bed would be just different, it would be nicer, and then more space as well. And then also the centre, I'll be cutting out the centre, so I'll be creating a cylinder from here and this, then making it like I do with my Dalek bases, where you create, making a sandwich with then posts creating the gap, and then I'll board it up eventually when I get hardboard. Fiberglass that, because I'm not the greatest woodworker and it's just faster to fiberglass, so then it bonds to it. And then create the L brackets going off, darting in different directions, wrapping that in hardboard, fiberglassing that, bish bash bosh, and then it's pretty much done. It's not the proper way of making a bed because I'm not a woodworker, but because I do fiberglass, and it's pretty much like building a Dalek anyway. Again, it's like the shoulders. It's a merge of the base and the shoulders of the paradigm, if you will. And it'll be decorated in this as well, don't worry. And that's the coat. Still there. Oop. So yeah, everything's going to be Dalmatian themed. I'm going to have some shelves and things. Oh, and I did fill this in as well. I'm still looking for a clock. I've been looking everywhere for a skeleton clock. I've just got that little bit to do. I did get more paint, which is down there. But yeah, it's just onwards with the bed today. So yeah, I'll keep at it. I'm going to go router this out now. I should have some more videos. Ciao. Okay, so I'm back. So I've just been spending the last 2 hours, maybe. I had a basic idea, but yeah. So basically it looks like a mess right now, and people are thinking, that looks awful, and it is awful, but it's only a skeleton structure so far. So yeah, I'll start with the middle. So I cut from that table, as I mentioned. I didn't use a route, I just used the jigsaw, because they don't have to be clean anyway. I've come up with a solution. So it is going to be round, like I mentioned before. These at the front are a little smaller because, again, I don't want a ledge, as I'll be coming off that bit. So the idea is, it won't be all the way around. These are just a support, and anyway, I'm not going to be moving off the sides. That's the back, as you can see, and it's going to have an angle design. Again, I've just had to remember I have to take into account of the mattress, so it might come up to about there. I don't know yet. So I might need to higher these up to give it a headrest. And there are one there and one here to stop the mattress from falling off. There's that piece there and that piece there as well. So that should hopefully keep it central. I don't know if I'm going to need another plate over the top, because I don't know about this hole. It shouldn't, because it isn't very big. But yeah, what I've thought is I was going to make it like a solid fin, but I've just thought there's no point, because my idea is I'm going to have a massive quilt. Of course, it'll all be cleaned up. There won't be poking up edges. It'll all be, you know, shaped. But I was going to do the underneath, but then I thought no point, because I'm going to basically, if I can get a massive one, a massive throw to go around it, like a circle one if I can. I got a duvet cover of a burrito one ages ago. It was quite big, but like you can go bigger. So I'm wondering if I can get a Dalmatian one. I'm sure I can, or even if it was just square, it don't matter. It's just to cover the entire fin. So I've got to wait for a mattress. That'll be the main of it, and then it'll just be loads of cushions and all that dotted about, just to give it a real, you know, it's not going to be one of them standard beds like what most people have. I did create a bit of a mess, but yeah, I've cleaned it up. And this is more or less, there is still bits of wood outside, the long bits that were, you know, the rail parts. But yeah, from reusing that bed, now I put it on its side, of course, and put the bed back there for the time being. But yeah, that's, at first it was looking like a, if I had gone inwards like that, it would look a bit like a coffin. But again, yeah, I don't know. I might have to higher these up just a little bit, because I did measure. I don't know what the new one will measure. I mean, this mattress here is really old anyway, so it might have shrunk over time. It's about 15 centimeters, 150 mil. But I remember when you first get them, they start out at like 200 mil. But maybe that's just my memory. So yeah, it don't look like much. It is literally just the skeleton structure. I've put some support beams there to just, you know, give it a bit of support, and down in the centre. It really doesn't need to be over the top. Again, like I say, it's not going here. Like I say, it'll be going in that corner. So yeah, it'll just be literally just to higher up. I would just use the mattress, but want to make space, you know, so, you know, I can put fins in there. I may eventually have to board it up, because again, without giving away, I don't want anything to get under there eventually. Let's say like the cat as well. So yeah, it will need bordering up, because it's literally just going to be the stuff draping down. You know, it will have to be proofed. But yeah, that's so far. It really don't look like much. I know I keep saying that. It's very bare minimum. But it is, at the end of the day, it's a simple fit. I mean, I built that bed before, not a proper bed, you know, it just to do with, you know, to make do, because I haven't got the most money in the world, and when I don't really spend time in my room, there's no point spending loads of cash on expensive grand beds, you know, bed frames and that. But yeah, it'll be a foam mattress, 5 inch, no, not 5 inch, 5 foot, and again I have medding. It should come to about here, but again, like I say, I didn't want to graze my knees or legs or anything, so I have cut these ones a little short. That's just for support, so when I come off, it will I will probably put one more when I get the chance. But yeah, that's, or maybe a crossbeam, I don't know, because it won't be seen, it'll just be, I could do a crossbeam when I get the chance. I'll do that, because I put the miter saw away now. But yeah, it'll literally just be, it's just a frame to put the mattress on, and like I say, and then a massive throw will go on it to disguise everything. Pillows up against there, so you can't, a bed is messy anyway, and at the end of the day it's not a big thing that stays clean, you know, like you don't really make your bed so as you get older. Just an area where I can, you know, lay down. So yeah, it's just more or less a mattress now, and then them throws to disguise the entire thing. I would really preferably want Dalmatian, and I'll probably have to get a measuring tape and see if there is anything. If not, just long rectangle ones down the centre and down that way, and just let it drape onto the thing, or even staple it, I don't know, depends how I feel. So yeah, that's pretty much the bed frame at the minute. Will be a while until we move on to, you know, putting it to the side and start making the bed. Right, I'll start putting this against the wall, and don't know when my next update will be, but I am going to be busy for the next few days, hopefully, and then I'll have something to report back. But until then, you know how I am. I'll try my best to do something, and I'll hopefully have news by it's Friday today, next Friday then. Until then, I'll see you then.